welcome to today's YouTube video. Today I am going to teach you how to use classes and IDs in your HTML. So this is a basic HTML. This is basic HTML that I have written. I created two buttons and I linked my HTML to my CSS. Currently my CSS has no code and it's empty. So if we come to our where our file is and open it, I opened it with my browser. I use Chrome. So we can see that these are the two buttons, just plain buttons, nothing serious about them. We are going to start styling each of them now. So we're first going to start by styling the button tag, and this is just going to give the two buttons a general kind of styling. Then I'm going to show you how to use classes and IDs to style each button, even though they're giving a general kind of styling. So let's just go to our style.css. Then we'll start styling the two button tags using the button tag. So we'll first give them a padding of 20 pixels. No, sorry, a padding of 10 pixels. After giving it a padding of 10 pixels, I'm going to give it a border of none. And after giving it a border of none, I'm going to give it a border radius of 5 pixels. After giving it a border radius of 5 pixels, I'm going to give it a background color of Dodger blue. And I'm going to give it a background color Dodger blue. And I'm going to give the text a color of the button text, a color of white. So after doing that, let us just go to our browser and reload to see how our buttons look like. Now our buttons are already styled. We can see that they have Dodger blue background color and a text color of white. But we now want to style these two buttons in such a way that when we hover on the first button, the background color changes to black and the text color changes to yellow. But when we hover on the second button, the background color changes to black also, the text changes to yellow also, but the size of the button increases. So let's do that. We'll now go to our HTML and give our first button a class of btn1. btn1 stands for button 1. You can give your class any name you want. So we'll give the second button a class of btn2, which stands for button 2. So I'll come to my style.css and start styling those buttons with the classes I just gave them. Now for you to be able to use a class to style a button, you have to type it in as, you have to first use dots, then btn1, then you put your curly brackets. Normally when we wanted to style the button tag over here in our HTML, we just typed button there. But anytime you are trying to style a tag using a class, when you want to type that class in CSS, you must first put a dot before the name of the class. Now let's style our first button. We said we want the background color to change to black, so we'll say background color. Background color will change to black, and then the text color will change to yellow. Okay, we'll change to yellow. Now if we check for, if we reload our page, if we hover over it, we can see that our, let me reload the page again. Okay, sorry, I didn't put hover. Now anytime you want to add an effect where you hover on a particular button or hover on something and it performs an action, when you are trying to style that tag, in front of it you put colon hover. So now that we've put hover there, let's go back and reload our page. If we reload it, we will see that the button is going to change back to Dodger blue. And if we hover over it, you can see that the background color changes to black and the color changes to yellow. That is the text color. So let's style the second button. We'll say dot btn2, then colon hover. In our curly brackets, then we would say we'll just copy this text, this code that we wrote here, and we are going to add to it. And inside here, we'll do Ctrl V, and then we also said that we want the size to increase. So I'm going to give it a padding of 20 pixels. I'm also going to give it a transition of 0.8 seconds or 0.8 seconds. Now the reason why I'm giving it a transition is because if we hover over this one, we can see that it changes immediately, but we want a slow effect where it's not really as fast as this. So I'm going to give this one a transition also. I'm going to give it a transition of 0.8 seconds. Now let's reload our page to see how it works now. If we reload it and we hover over this one, we can see it changes to black and the text color changes to yellow. But if you hover over this one, we can see that okay, the size of the button increases, the background changes to black, and the text changes to yellow also. But we can also use ID to do exactly what we are doing. What we need to do is that we'll just come to where we wrote class, we would highlight it, and I'm going to change this to ID, and I'm going to come here also. I'm going to come here also and change this to ID. Sorry, ID. Now we've changed it to ID, but we need to specify in our CSS what particular tag we're trying to style, because presently we know that we already use .btn, but .btn means that we're trying to style a class, but there is no class in our HTML. The way you style IDs in your HTML is that before writing the name of the ID, you put hash in front of it. We'll change this dot to hash. Don't forget, if you are using IDs, you use hash. If you are using classes, you use dot. So if we come here and reload our page, we would notice that nothing has changed. We'll see that it's the exact same effects that we get. So thank you for watching my video, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you like seeing content like this, hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification button. Peace.